Yo. Hey everybody, this is Bites, and today I want to take you through getting started in Reiki. I want to take you, someone who has only heard about this through friends or loved ones or the internet, and I want to turn you into someone who has actually done it for themselves, on themselves, and perhaps someone who could continue doing it in the future. So how are we going to do that? Well, first, I want you to perhaps pause the video and go find a place where you are judgment free, criticism free, embarrassment free. A place where you can look a little odd for a moment and won't be judged for it. So if you need to, pause the video, go ahead, and welcome back. So here's how we're going to start. So we are going to take our hands and we are going to bring them together like this. About 2-3 inches apart is fine. If you want to hold your hands up like this, that's fine. If you need to and you want to keep them in your lap, like down here, that's perfectly fine as well. I prefer to kind of keep my hands moving a little bit while I do it, unless I'm only doing it for a short period of time. So that's why you'll see me doing this during the video. But for the most part, I just need you to keep your hands like this, apart from each other. And we are going to start with what I would be doing if we were in person. So what I would be doing if we were in person is I would first do a session on you, which would be like 45 minutes to an hour of doing Reiki. And then I would have you watch while I do Reiki on another person so that you could see the different hand positions. Another reason for doing this with students is, like the attunements, it helps them imagine themselves as someone who could be doing it too, you know? So if we can't do that, which we can't right now through the YouTube video, no worries, because we have to start using our imagination anyway. And what do I mean by that? Well, first, one of the things you may be noticing now is there's a bit of like a gravity, like a pull from your hands towards each other that can be difficult to resist. I'm going to ask you to resist that. You'll also see it works for your fingers too. Like if you put your fingers up in front of each other and hold them like an inch apart, they'll pull together until you cross your eyes and see a hot dog. So you're dealing with that, but you're also dealing with a lot more than that when you're doing this. You are dealing with your arms getting tired, you're dealing with your mind wandering, and you're also dealing with the things that need to be on your mind, like what you're gonna cook for dinner, or what you're doing with the kids later, or where you're going this weekend, all those things. So I'm going to ask that you use your imagination and place your attention right between your hands. And what helps a lot of people is imagining sort of like a light in between your hands. And that to them, I don't know, that helps some people focus. I don't see light or anything like that, and I don't imagine it. What I do is, because I'm a video game guy, I imagine healing animation from my role-playing video games and my Dungeons and Dragons video games, and I imagine them between my hands. Sometimes I'll see little auras of my hands and really see a vibrational representation of the energy in between them, but I've been doing this for a really long time. So, and it takes, for me, it's taken a long time to be able to perceive that kind of thing. So for you, whatever works. If resting your attention in between your hands is enough for you, then by all means, just do that. But in terms of these imaginations, like the light, and for me, like the healing magic spells from Dungeons and Dragons and stuff, you may ask, is that tricking yourself? And maybe it is. I mean, maybe it helps actuate the actual ability, but if you're scrawny and you go into a weightlifting facility and you're up in front of the mirror and you're trying to get yourself motivated to do the weightlifting, you imagine yourself with muscle. You imagine yourself the way that you want to look, and that gives you the motivation and the power to do what you got to do to actually look that way. is it imagining? Is it trickery? Maybe, but it's effective. So why am I jabbering on like this? Well, this is a YouTube channel. This is what we do here. But also, I wanted to hopefully show you at this point that your hands know how to do Reiki. If you've ever had a boo-boo as a young child and your mother has placed her hand over it, despite the fact that her hand was probably covered with bacteria and wasn't objectively making it better, then you've felt Reiki before. If you've had a stomach ache, and you put your hands on it and it helps relieve the pain, then you've done Reiki on yourself, right? At least in a small form of it, you know? So your mind may be telling you that all of this is silly, and your mind may be telling you that at best only holy people can do these things, but your hands know how to do them beyond all of that noise. I've been doing this for over a decade. I have never known anyone that I have ever taught how to do this to not be able to feel something here when they start doing this. As long as their doubting critical mind is assuaged, which means before you're doing Reiki on yourself, maybe you need to write out your feelings about, I don't know, your sister or your boyfriend that's like ticking you off, you know what I mean? But if you can get that speedy part of your brain assuaged somehow, relaxed somehow, and you can get your wandering mind, your chattering mind distracted, then you can allow all sorts of things into your life, including Reiki. I mean, this is why I think some people play music during sessions. You may see that when you go into a Reiki session, if you ever do, that people play music. And yeah, it's usually relaxing music that helps you relax. But I think too, it's sort of like a way for the practitioner to focus too, so that they're not thinking about their laundry, you know, while they're doing their session, because everyone's human, you know? So in a minute, I'm going to ask you to do something. For right now, I want you to think about any problem spot you may have on your body. For me, I get headaches because I overthink, and I have to deal with ulcers. They suck. And so sometimes my stomach. Okay, so you got that in your mind? Great. Back to your hands. So bringing your attention back to your hands, right? Because as you're doing this, your mind's going to wander. It's just going to happen, you know? So gently, hopefully, bringing your attention back to your hands, you may notice, because I notice this all the time, a surge in the feeling of the energy either in your hands or between your hands. So when you are doing this, and hopefully in general, as you are trying to master your mind, be thankful for your mind getting distracted. Gently return your attention to what you're doing, in this case, Reiki, and notice how after your mind wandering out and gathering amongst the universe more intel and coming back, somehow if you bring your attention back to Reiki, rather than Reiki punishing you for not paying attention to it, it actually feels stronger, I notice, when you bring your attention back to it. And to me, that's a huge difference between Reiki and meditation, because the reward you get for bringing your mind back while it's wandering during meditation is more meditation. Whereas the reward for Reiki is that the Reiki feels stronger. You notice the warm hands more. You notice the tingly feelings more when you take a break and come back. And that applies not just to doing it during a session, or be it on someone else or on yourself. It's also in terms of practicing Reiki. For anyone who actually, you know, practices and is watching this channel, if you got to take a year off, man, take a year off. And when you come back, you'll be stronger, not weaker. And there's no better example of that than when you're just doing it in the moment and your mind gets distracted and you come back. Yeah, you'll be more in tune, not less in tune. So, feeling connected? You feeling maybe a little warm, tingly, you know, sensation, vibration in between your hands? Great. That spot you mentioned that you were thinking of before, put your hands there right now. feel that? That's it, man. That's it. So when you're doing this on yourself and you're not feeling it anymore, just bring your hands back to position and do everything we just did all over again. And then put them back on. You feel that? Yeah, that's Reiki. All right. Thanks, guys. I'm really glad that I managed to get that out. I've been wanting to do this video for a while, but I didn't exactly know how to do it, and so I figured I would just pretend like you were a student here with me, and I hope you got something out of it. So, thanks, guys.